meet the men from the Ministry. You're invited once again to jump aboard the Ministry bandwagon with Norma, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, and the men from the Ministry, Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Ministry men must be bright and efficient, and nowhere is this more true than in the General Assistance Department, where top executives are always ready to cope with the problems of government. Yet they also have a capacity for self-examination, a readiness to ask questions about themselves.
Who's a pretty boy, then? Who's a pretty boy?
Too, I'm not at all happy about your keeping that parrot here.
It's only for a day or two, one, while there are problems at home.
Problems at home?
Yes, my landlady is having her teeth out and a new gas stove put in.
But a parrot in the office seems most unseemly. To start with, what about the smell?
Oh, you'll soon get used to that. Won't you, Enoch? You like it here, don't you?
Load of rubbish! Load of rubbish!
He always says that when he's pleased.
Look, let's get on with the matter in hand. Now, pass me the dice, too. Double six.
12. See? I get another go. Another double six.
Rotten old cheat! Rotten old cheat!
I beg your pardon.
Granted.
Oh, look here, too. I'm not going to stand for that. Insulted by a parrot in my own office.
I'm sorry, man. Perhaps we should cover him up. That usually keeps him quiet.
Yes, well, if it doesn't, I can think of another way to keep him quiet.
There's an old Union Jack somewhere left over from Boost Britain Week. Yes, it is. I'll put that over the cage. Now, that should do the trick.
Can't see a thing!
Here we are, sir. When you're tired and life gets tricky, have some tea and a chocolate bicky. Can I put them in the desk, sir?
No, Mildred, leave it on the record player. We're in the middle of a game.
Oh, yeah. What is that you're playing?
It's Ministropoly, a game for the ministry-minded.
Yes.
And you use that little disc?
Yes, that's called the buck. It's passed from office to office. And these are the counters.
Fancy. Little men in bowler hat.
The game is won by the first player to get his little man to the top of the civil service. Over here, marked with red tape.
And there are lucky squares to land on, you see. Seen talking to head of department, go up one.
There are unlucky ones as well.
Oh, yeah. Seen slipping canteen sugar into pocket, go down one.
Caught cuddling secretary, go down 5.
You catch head of department cuddling secretary, go up 10.
I'm sorry to interrupt the game, Mr. Lennox-Brown, but there are a few letters to answer.
Oh, dear me. It's all go, isn't it?
I answered some letters last week.
Well, you didn't exactly answer them, Mr. Lamb. You stamped permission refused on the lot.
Including our own application for a pay rise.
Oh. All right, then. I suppose it's more stuff for the Department of Trade.
Yeah, that's right, sir. There's a query here on development grants.
Let me see that, Mildred. Oh, yes. Just write and say, applicants requesting grants will be promptly executed.
Sir? Oh, and the press are asking about the unemployment figures.
There isn't any unemployment. It's just a silly rumour put around by people who haven't got a job.
I'll tell them, sir.
That's enough work for today, Mildred. Mustn't overtax ourselves. Besides, you'll have to excuse me a moment. I must go and water the window box.
Oh, I'm glad you remember that, too. The tomatoes are looking rather dry. Bit of sun out there, and plants very quickly get yellow and shriveled, like,
Sir Gregory.
Yes, like Sir Gregory. Good morning, sir. How nice to see you. How are you, sir? How's Lady Pitkin?
Stop rambling, Lennox-Brown.
Very wise at her age. Just take it easy.
Oh, be quiet, man. I brought you both another little job for the Department of Trade and Industry.
Oh, we're up to our eyes already, sir. I don't think we could manage any more.
They want you to spend 2 days in Italy.
Oh, well, we might just manage that.
You're sending us to Italy, Sir Gregory? Us to Italy?
I do believe you've grasped it, Lamb. You're going to Rome on Monday. You're to meet officials of the Italian ministry. Now we're part of the European community. There'll be frequent discussions on mutual commerce. The floodgates of trade are open.
Oh, yes, indeed, sir. Yes.
The old barriers are down, and the good things of Europe will flow freely from country to country. Our shelves will be rich with Italian pasta, Dutch cheese, Danish bacon...
Brussels sprouts.
Oh, be quiet, Lamb. We must see they buy food from us in return.
No problem there, sir. I'm sure European countries will be only too delighted to buy our British delicacies, like deep-frozen shepherd's pie and foil-in-the-bag rissoles.
Well, the PM's especially anxious to sell British potatoes. We've had a glut this year. See that they place a big order.
We'll do our best, Sir Gregory.
Oh, good grief, man. You'll have to do better than that. We've got to put the economy back on its feet, and quickly. We're about to start 2 weeks hard bargaining with trade union leaders.
Oh, yes, there's to be another Downing Street conference, I gather.
Starting at the end of next week. The trade and industry people are busy setting it up. That's why you're to go to Rome on their behalf.
We shan't let you down, sir.
See that you don't. Now remember, you'll be there as representatives of our great country. Examples of the British way of life.
Yes.
We live in a time of challenge. A time to seize our opportunities or go under. A time to grasp the Union Jack.
Yeah, not that one, Sir Gregory. It's covering the...
A time to wave the flag aloft and say... Thank you, Lamb. A time for every Briton to ask himself...
Who's a pretty boy there?
A time for... What the devil's that?
Don't jump to conclusions, Sir Gregory.
A parrot? A parrot in the office?
Oh, yes, it does look like a parrot.
What does this mean? I demand an explanation.
Well, Sir Gregory, Mrs. Bradby's had trouble with her teeth, so she's been sticking to mushroom soup until last week it all boiled over, and since then her hot plate hasn't worked, but the gas board is sending a man to oblige her, and the dentist's going to do her this afternoon, and that's why we've got the bird.
Have you finished, lad?
Yes.
Here am I talking about the challenge of Europe, and you run this office like a holiday camp. Then what's that on your desk, Lennox-Brown?
Well, that's minestropolis, sir. It's a sort of instructional exercise.
It's a blasted game, isn't it?
A game.
And Miss Murfin, why is the duplicating machine all yellow and sticky?
I used it for making chutney, sir.
What?
With the tomatoes from the window box.
Oh, you'll have to pull your socks up, all of you, if we're to compete in Europe. I tell you, Lennox-Brown, you'll find things very different in the Italian ministry. Over there, it's all hard work and streamlined efficiency.
Buongiorno, signor Landini, signor Lennox-Bruno.
Ah, come in, Maria. You have brought our refreshments, no?
I have brought your refreshments, yes. Also some queries from the minister.
Oh, those we leave till domani. 11 o'clock, Uno. Time for our Chianti break.
Put a tray on the gramophone, please, until we have finished our game.
Oh, what game is this, signor?
It is a game about getting on in government service. We call it Happy Mafia.
Mamma mia, always you play the games, even though the permanent undersecretary is furioso.
Oh, Count Pitkin is furioso?
He is furioso about the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It seems you have had it straightened.
But he told us to put things right at Pisa.
No, Signor Landini. He was talking about the ministry canteen. He told you to get things right with the pizza.
Oh, doloroso.
Never mind, Uno. I'm going to water the window box. The vines have many grapes this year.
Almost the time for the wine making, eh, Maria? You have cleaned up the duplicating machine?
Si, signor. But I must remind you that 2 English gentlemen from London are due here any minute.
See. They wanted to sell us some British food.
This must be them now.
Come in.
Oh, good morning, gentlemen. My name's Lennox-Brown, and this is my junior colleague here, this is Lab.
How do you do?
The man from the minestrone. Welcome to Italy, gentlemen. I am Riccardo Lambini, the junior senior.
And I am Lennox-Bruno, the senior.
Delighted to meet you both, and congratulations on your excellent English.
And you perhaps have a little Italian?
Yes, but we left him outside with the luggage.
Mamma mia, we have a right one here.
We were highly delighted by our warm reception at the airport, Signor Bruno. Your people seemed really glad to see us.
Yes, it was very exciting.
Yes.
There were crowds waving and shouting as we got off the plane.
Everyone was most impressed, including Sophia Loren, who happened to be just behind us.
And what do you think of our beautiful city?
Oh, truly magnificent.
Did you see the Colosseum?
Oh, yes. What a pity they never finished it. I mean, fill in all those holes and you've got quite a decent building.
Let us hope you have a time to see the beauties of our country. Florence in the moonlight is most attractive.
I'm sure she is.
Let's get down to business, gentlemen. As you know, our government has sent us here to offer you some of our splendid British foodstuffs.
Yes, I was afraid of that. I'm afraid in Italy we're accustomed to a different sort of food.
Your bread, for instance. The British loaf is soggy, no? Over here, we are better at loafing.
I'm sure. You see, British food is always cheap.
See, I have been there. Always cheap. Fish and chips, beans and chips, chips and chips.
Yes, well, it's funny you should mention that. We are in a position to offer you plenty of potatoes. A good economical food.
Oh, yes. Leave the eyes in and they'll see you through the week.
Well, if we buy your British potatoes, you buy a little spaghetti, no?
Oh, that's reasonable, certainly, yes.
Are you sure? And we don't really need more spaghetti.
That'll do, too. I know how to handle these people. It's worth taking a little if they'll place a big order with us.
Now, senor, I have here the standard contract. I'll just fill in the details. We buy much of your potatoes. We sell you a little pasta. Now, if you'll sign the contract here...
Splendid, yes. Lend me your pen, too.
But that contract's written in Italian, man.
Well, of course it is, but I've got the general outline of the deal. Now then, for and on behalf of the British government, the Lennox-Brown, Mr. Well, too, it's good to be back in the dear old office. I enjoyed visiting Rome, you know, but I must say I wouldn't want to live there.
No. Did you notice they're all driving on the wrong side of the road?
I tell you what I do envy in Italy, man. All those public holidays.
Oh, yes, I know what you mean, yes. If it isn't the day of national liberation, it's the festival of St. Gino. Lambini was saying he never needs to have a cold at all.
Well, Sir Gregory, we're pleased with our export.
Oh, yes. I pulled off rather a shrewd deal. A really big order for potatoes in return for a few pounds of pasta.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes?
There's a message from the London docks.
Oh, yes.
They're a bit puzzled. 10 shiploads of spaghetti just arrived.
10 shiploads of spaghetti?
It's bulging out the portholes, apparently. Seems it's been ordered from Italy on behalf of the government.
Oh, nonsense, Mildred. Some half-wits made a bloomer.
Very likely, sir. They sent this translation of the contract. The British government hereby agree to buy 500,000 tons of spaghetti. In return, the Italian government will buy from Britain 2 packets of potato crisps. It is also agreed that the British government will supply green stamps with these. Signed, etc., D. Lennox-Brown.
Sir Gregory will kill us.
Oh, be quiet. Be quiet, too. We've got to think clearly.
It's all your fault. I told you not to sign it in Italian.
You're in this as much as I am, too. The contract was signed with your pen.
Look, Sir Gregory's coming in here today before the Downing Street talk.
Oh, glory. Look, we'll have to sell potatoes somewhere else.
Why don't you ring round the Common Market Ministry? One of them might help.
Good idea, yes. Now, you get back to the outer office, Mildred, with the Continental phone book. Keep dialing on both phones, and when anybody answers, put them through. 2, you take that phone, I'll take this. There isn't a moment to lose.
Any luck, Mildred?
I got someone at the German Ministry in Bonn. I'm putting you through now.
Good.
Jawohl.
Oh. I'll read it then. This is the General Assistance Department in Whitehall here. We were wondering if you'd like to buy some potatoes, just a few thousand tons.
Nein.
9,000 tons, that is kind of you.
Nein, is Deutsch for no. I cannot you meet the potatoes help. I am here only the caretaker.
You're there only the caretaker? Well, put me on to someone in authority.
This is not possible. It's public holiday. Today is the National Beer Festival. Cheers. Up the bottoms.
He says there's no one there. It's a public holiday.
Oh, good grief. Wait a minute. This will be the call to Paris.
Hello, hello?
Oh, good morning, madam. Whitehall here.
Oh, hello, Monsieur Whitehall.
Look, I'd like to speak to your head of common market imports, please.
Oh, but that is impossible, monsieur. There is no one here. They are all, how you call it, scattered.
Oh, yeah. There's no one there. Well, who are you, madam?
I am the concierge, the femme de la mop. Everyone is on holiday today. It is the festival of Saint Sacha.
Saint Sacha?
Bless you. Goodbye, monsieur, or how you say in English, au revoir.
God, it's ridiculous, too. The French are on holiday as well.
What are we going to do once the Gregory will go berserk when he hears about that Italian deal?
Well, we'll just have to keep trying to. Mildred has plenty more numbers to ring. Somebody must be in their office.
Oh, I see. Oh, dear. Well, sorry to have troubled you. Goodbye. They're all on holiday in Copenhagen, too.
Oh, what is it over there?
The festival of Lord Longford.
Oh, dear me.
Well, we've now found every capital in Europe, and they've all got public holidays.
It isn't fair, one. Why don't we get as many days off as they do?
Well, there's no time to start worrying about that. If Sir Gregory hears we've sold just 2 packets of crisps, we'll have plenty of days off. We'll both be out of work.
You're back then, you two.
Oh, yes, Sir Gregory, but I'm just off, as a matter of fact. Mr. Lamb will give you the details of our trip to Rome.
Not so fast, Lennox-Brown. You stay here. You know, if I speak to Lamb for more than 5 seconds, he starts to shake and foam at the mouth.
Me, Sir Gregory?
Yes, just like that. Anyone would think you were afraid of me. And now then, Lennox-Brown, yes, I'm looking for good news to take to the economic conference. You sell potatoes to Italy?
Yes, sir.
Good. How much? 1 million tons?
Not quite, Sir Gregory.
Well, no need to be too ambitious to start with. 500,000?
You're getting warmer, sir.
Oh, you mean more in the region of 200,000?
You're right about the two, sir.
Good grief, man. I haven't time for guessing games. If you didn't sell 200,000 tons of potatoes, what did you sell?
2 packets of crisps.
Yeah, there isn't really time for jokes, but I must say you had me there. Yeah. Did you hear that, Lamb? Lennox-Brown said you sold 2 packets of crisps.
It's true, sir. That's all they take. Here's a copy of the contract.
What? You stupid, blundering fool! You crass, hopeless idiot!
Please, Sir Gregory, it could have been worse.
We might have sold only 1 packet of crisps.
Don't hit, Sir Gregory, please. You'll only break your umbrella.
We can explain, sir.
I don't want explanations. I have never in my life come across such half-witted, brainless, incompetent, dunderheaded,
Lunatics, Sir Gregory?
Lunatics, thank you. Oh, be quiet, Lamb. Oh, if it weren't for these Downing Street talks, I'd take great pleasure in hanging you both from your own hat stand. As it is, you've got one more chance to sell those potatoes.
But, Sir Gregory...
Don't argue, man. Bring round the European capitals. We must have some export triumphs to tell the trade union leaders. They're in an ugly mood.
Excuse me, Sir Gregory. Lord Bannock is here looking for you.
Lord Bannock? He's the country's top economist, isn't he?
Indeed he is. He and I are to be the middlemen at Downing Street between the government and the unions. Show him in, Miss Murfin.
Righty-ho, sir. Right away. Oh, he's in.
Come on, Pitkin. We'll be late. What's the matter with you, man?
Lord Bannock. Well, I'm ready, sir. I'm just giving a few final instructions to my staff.
Well, don't be all day. We're due at the conference anew, you know. We didn't want to miss the free lunch.
Of course, sir. Well, now, listen, you two. You're to phone all our common market partners, and I want some solid news by this afternoon.
But, Sir Gregory, we've phoned them already. No one's in their offices. They've all got some sort of public holiday.
Well, no wonder the unions are ugly, sir. I mean, other countries get 20 or more days off every year. We get only half a dozen.
Now we're in the common market, sir. We should have more public holidays.
Be quiet, Lamb. Keep your idiotic ideas to yourself.
Just a minute, Pitkin. What was that you said, young man? More public holidays?
Yes, people would be keener on their jobs, you see. Everyone would work harder.
Sounds like a good idea to me, eh, Pitkin?
Yes, sir. Very good idea.
Bright young lad you've got here, Pitkin. One shouldn't judge by appearances, you know.
If you... If you say so, sir.
First class brain. When he got that idea in his head, he got it in a nutshell.
Yes, indeed.
More public holidays is just what we need to offer the unions. Oh, well done, Mr. Lamb. Come along, Pitkin, let's get off to number 10. I'll put forward this public holiday suggestion right away.
Did you notice one? Sir Gregory almost smiled at me.
Well, he bared his teeth in your direction. Lucky he's tied up with the conference, or he could have turned very nasty.
Lord Bannock seems a decent chap.
Oh, true aristocrat, too. He can trace his family tree back to the time his family lived in it.
Hello, Lennox-Brown, General Assistance Department.
Brigadier Frobisher here, HQ Southern Command.
Oh, what can we do for you, Brigadier?
This Downing Street conference. I understand they want some troops standing by as a security measure.
Oh, yes, I think I saw a memo about that.
How many troops do you want?
Oh, I dare say a couple of hundred would do.
Well, sorry, there aren't 200 available.
Well, make it 75 then.
Tricky, very tricky. Can't quite manage that many. Recruiting hasn't been too good this year, do you see?
Oh, well, in that case, Brigadier, send as many men as you have available. I don't mind.
Oh, yes, good of you. I'll send him along straight away.
What do you mean? You've only got one man available?
I'm afraid so. But we'll get him to run about a bit. Very good of you to be so understanding. And if there's anything we can do for you Whitehall chaps, just let us know. What?
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 Oh, yes. Thank you, Brigadier. Goodbye.
What are we going to do with that spaghetti run?
Oh, I don't know, too, but we'd better do it quickly. Now, you inquire around the other departments.
Yes.
I'll have a word with the retail trade.
Yes.
Now, we'll meet again at tea time.
Yes.
Any luck, Mr. Lamb? Did you shift any spaghetti?
No, the catering committee turned it down. They said there were too many strings attached.
Well, that was a nasty experience. I've been to see the president of the Institute of Grocers.
Oh, yeah, the PIG. What happened, sir?
I asked him what to do with the surplus of spaghetti, and his reply was both uncouth and impracticable.
Well, never mind, sir. You sit down and have a nice cup of tea.
Well, you two, how's it going?
Oh, Sir Gregory, we are pressing on, sir. Pressing on, yes. And how was the first day of the conference?
Well, I think I made rather an impression, Lennox-Brown, especially with the unions. In fact, the electrical union said they wish they had me in the chair.
Very attractive thoughts on that.
In particular, the conference decided to implement that brilliant idea of mine.
Which brilliant idea was that, sir?
For having more public holidays, to put us in line with the continent.
Your idea? But that was my idea.
Did you say something, Lamb?
No, Sir Gregory.
Good. Yes, I pointed out that extra holidays would be an incentive, boost production. Well, the PM agreed at once.
It was my idea.
Italy and Germany have 15 public holidays each year. Well, we'll do better than that. We'll have 19.
I thought of it. I did.
Don't be quiet, Lamb. Now, this office will work out the details, decide which dates are suitable and so on. Send your list to the Department of Trade, and they'll put the plan into action.
Very good, sir.
I did think of it.
Don't forget, these new holidays will have to have names. We haven't as many saints as our continental cousins, so you'll have to improvise.
Oh, we'll find some names, never fear, sir. How about St. Vitus's Day, for instance?
And a Feast of St. Pancras.
And when we run out of saints, we can use modern heroes.
Yes, the Festival of Tom Jones.
Georgie Best Memorial Day.
And a half holiday for Ronnie Corbett.
Quite so. We'll put it in hand at once. I want it all set up before the conference ends.
It was my idea, whatever he says.
Oh, leave it to and be grateful. Thanks to this holiday thing, he's forgotten the exports problem.
But what about the spaghetti? If he hears about that, he'll run through this place like the vengeance of Dracula.
Ah, I've had an idea on that.
Have you?
The army, too. Now, if anyone can eat that much spaghetti, they can.
That brigadier said he owed us a favor. We'll go and see him tomorrow.
Now, let's get this straight. You're trying to sell the army 10 shiploads of spaghetti.
It's called bulk buying, Brigadier. It saves money, you see. And this is the best quality spaghetti. I mean, fresh from Italy.
Picked this month.
Well, what do you think, Captain Pratt? Should we have it?
Oh, why not? Let's go raiding mad.
Captain Pratt is our camp entertainments officer.
I can tell by the way he walks.
Mind you, the lads are fussy feeders.
But the troops love spaghetti. Think of the great Italian soldiers. Caesar, Hadrian, Nero. They conquered the world. And what do you think they ate?
Spaghetti, of course. Caesar had several tins a day.
All right, let's not beat about the bush. We'll take the spaghetti from you.
Thank you, Brigadier. You won't regret it. How long, too? We must go and tie up the details. Good day, you gentlemen.
Oh, I hope we did right, Brigadier. The cookhouse lads can be ever so moody.
This spaghetti isn't for the cookhouse. I bought it for filling sandbags.
The last of the spaghetti's been delivered to the army. It's taken a week to shift it.
Oh, thank heaven that's over. But still no luck with the exports, you know. I wonder why America refused our potatoes.
They said they were undersized. You'd think they'd be thankful for small Murphys.
Yes, well, we better try some other food stuff. We must sell something soon. Now the Downing Street talks are over, Sir Gregory will be after us again.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Lennox-Brown, I sent in your list of new public holidays. They've put them in hand already.
Oh, thank you, Mildred. Yes, well, that's something to look forward to anyway.
Your list of public holidays, one? I thought you'd forgotten all about it. I made up some dates and sent them last Monday.
Blimey! You sent in 2 lists of dates. We'll have twice as many holidays as we should have.
Oh, well, we'll just have to grin and bear it.
Sir Gregory thought 19 was a lot.
Still, I mean, if you... Not 19, Mildred. 90. Sir Gregory wanted 90 public holidays.
Yes, I heard him say so.
Yes.
No, Mr. Lamb. Look, here's Sir Gregory's memo. It clearly says 19.
She's right, man.
Oh, glory.
Well, would you have him and ease it? Sir Gregory wanted 19 public holidays, but you've ordered 90 each, so he'll get 180. The nation will come to a standstill.
Here is the news read by John Curl. There was heavy traffic on the roads today, Britain's 7th day off this week. Public houses were full for Jimmy Young Day celebrations, and coastal resorts are crowded, though visitors have little money to spend. It's thought this is because the banks have been closed for a month. The Prime Minister held a press conference this morning sitting on a beach at Worthing. He said that because of increased holidays, Britain's leisure industry was booming. Production of seaside rock is up 600%, and sales of ice cream have trebled. At this point, the Prime Minister began to laugh, and his deck chair collapsed. In some quarters, however, the policy of almost non-stop holiday has been heavily criticised. At a TUC rally this morning, Union leader Mr. Vic Tickle had this to say.
I'd just like to say that we have decided to protest most vehemently against these public holidays. Our members cannot be expected to strike effectively if they've got the day off anyway. It is manifestly unjust. We shall be pressing the government for longer working hours.
Oh, well, I never thought I'd say this, but it's nice to be back at work.
Yeah, when you're not working, there's nothing to grumble about, is there?
Now they've scrubbed the extra holidays, everyone seems relieved.
Mind you, I'm sorry for them seaside firms. They've been left with an awful lot of rock.
Hello, too. Sir Gregory is delighted with me.
And me one. I passed him in the corridor this morning and he didn't shove me aside like he usually does. I can't think what's gone right.
I'll tell you, Tony. Sir Gregory's pleased with my export triumph.
You mean you managed to sell some British potatoes?
No, not potatoes. Something far more sophisticated and original. Seaside rock.
Seaside rock? You're exporting that to Europe?
We had this tremendous surplus, you see, so I sent Lambini a sample.
And the Italians like it?
Oh, they're crazy about it, too. And so are the French. They eat it night and day.
You mean they have rock around the clock?
That's it.
Rocking Europe as the men from the ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma, Ronald Baddiley and John Graham. The programme was written by Edward Taylor and John Graham and produced by Edward Taylor. time to meet the men from the ministry. We're off once again for a whiz round Whitehall with Norma, Ronald, Ronald Baddiley, John Graham, and the men from the ministry, Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. In government service, a lot of work is bound to be routine, but top executives must also be ready with fresh schemes and bold new plans. In the General Assistance Department, for instance, original ideas breed like newts in a water butt.
Here you are, Mr. Lennox-Brown, the text of all last week's parliamentary debate.
We've been asked to review London's tourist attractions and try and make bigger profits.
But the House of Commons doesn't make a profit.
Not yet. But we mean to put that right.
The public gallery, you see. At the moment, spectators don't pay.
People won't pay to go in there. It's all incredibly boring.
We don't plan to charge for admission. They'll have to pay to get out.
It'll be £2 to escape in the first hour and £1 to get out after that.
Well, we could certainly do with more public money. The ministry plumbing's broken down again.
Oh, dear. I suppose the geezer's had one of its fits.
Yes, you're quite right, of course, Mildred. Our washrooms are a disgrace. I mean, fancy a man in my position having to carry a sink plug round in his pocket.
Well, I think something should be done. Someone should tell Sir Gregory.
He wouldn't help. He's too busy chasing Miss Bentwater around the typing pool.
But he's the permanent undersecretary. He's supposed to inspect our facilities.
That's what he tells Miss Bentwater. No, Sir Gregory doesn't care about staff welfare. If he's not flirting with the typist, he's grovelling to the minister.
Now then, you two.
Oh, Sir Gregory. Sir Gregory. How very nice to see you, sir.
I thought I'd better check on that job I gave you for the Ministry of Works.
Of course, sir, yes.
Tourist attractions and so forth.
Now, I'm glad you did, sir. I'm very glad you did, sir. We have some excellent ideas which we feel are both lucrative and meritorious.
And we think they're quite good as well.
I'll be the judge of that.
Yes, Murdoch.
Now, for instance, sir, the changing of the guard. As you know, this takes place at the palace every morning.
Of course, and it usually draws a big crowd.
Exactly. Well, we feel they should do it more often, so even more tourists could see it. Say, every 20 minutes.
Change the guard every 20 minutes?
And the ceremony could be livened up. A spot of trick riding, perhaps.
Trick riding?
Yes, like in a circus, you know. Put a handkerchief on the ground and the officer has to lean from the saddle as he gallops past and pick it up with his teeth.
What?
And then for an encore, he could ride back and pick up his teeth.
Now, nonsense, Lamb. London's historic ceremonies should be colourful and lively, but they must also retain their dignity.
Oh.
And on the subject of ceremonies, remember you're in charge of arrangements for next month's Trooping the Colour.
We have it in hand, sir. Yes, extra seating will be supplied, as you suggested.
And Horse Guards parade will be swept afterwards.
Yes.
Ah, the cavalry chaps will appreciate that.
Yes, so will Mr. Lennox-Brown's roses.
Well, make sure you put up show, you two. We must all pull together to make London the tourist centre of Europe.
Does that mean you'll be helping, sir?
Well, of course I'll be helping. In 10 days' time, I'm off to Paris on a fact-finding tour. We'll be roughing it at the Hotel Majestic, missing our sleep to check up on the nightclubs.
When you say we, sir, will you be taking Miss Bentwater?
What? Oh, yes. She'll be there to take it all down.
Fine.
Well, the French are very good at that sort of thing. I want her to see how they do it.
Oh. How they do what, Sir Gregory?
Well, cater for tourists, of course.
Cater for tourists.
I shall also take the opportunity to introduce her to the culture and arts of our common market brethren.
Splendid.
Gradually, of course.
Yes.
A little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Quite a bit of the other.
Miss Bentwater is rather gifted, you know. She has an artistic bent.
Oh, I'm sure it's nothing to worry about, sir.
While I'm with her, I sense a latent talent, and I have an urge to bring it out.
Oh.
I'm giving her a violin for her birthday next month, and very expensive, I may say. It cost me a fortune. Yes.
Well, why not, Sir Gregory? After all, she doesn't have a birthday every year.
But I want to mould this untutored girl into something fine and beautiful.
Beautiful, yes.
Foster her love of the arts.
Yes.
Teach her to make the best of herself. I gave her dress material for Christmas, you know.
Did you really?
Yes. I want to be a sort of Pygmalion.
Well, you're halfway there, sir.
Well, now then, I mustn't hinder you. I know you're keen to tackle this Ministry of Works job. We must do all we can to encourage the tourists, yes, for the sake of the nation's economy. Mildred, where's Mr. Lamb this morning? He's as late as I am, and I'm late, if not later. What's he up to?
I don't know, sir, but I expect he'll be here soon. He'll come bursting in and say...
Sorry I'm late, one.
My word, Mildred, that was just like him. Oh, it is you two.
Yes.
Well, where on earth have you been?
In the men's room, my tie was trapped in the towel machine.
Oh, glory.
They sent for that awful caretaker. He said it was a choice between strangling me or wrecking the towel machine, and the towel machine was valuable.
Oh, poor Mr. Lamb, so what happened?
Mr. Crawley turned up and cut my tie with his scissors.
Oh.
I suppose I'll have to wear it in a bow now.
I expect the machine was faulty, like everything in our washrooms. It's a living scandal. In the girls' room, there are cracks all down the walls.
Dear me.
Luckily, you can't read most of them.
Mr. Crawley, thank you for coming to my rescue.
Well, I hope you're all right, Mr. Lamb. I didn't like having to cut off your what's-his-name.
Oh, he's all right. He always looks like that.
Well, I'm not all right. Oh, I'm in a rare old lather. It's time something was done about our ministry plumbing. Our pipes are furry and our cisterns are constantly leaking.
Quite right, Mr. Crawley. We were just talking about that.
Well, with respect, Miss Murfin, the time for talking is past. What we want is action. The management must renew the old what's-his-name.
Yeah.
I've drawn up a petition to Sir Gregory Pitkin, and it states our demands in plain language. We workers have got to unite.
Yes.
Show the bosses they can't what's-his-name all over us.
We must stand back to back and face each other. We've been pushed around too long.
You just sign the petition here, Mr. Lamb, and add your own comments.
I'll tell Sir Gregory what to do with his pipes.
Well, we'll show him we mean business. It's time to stand up and fight.
That sounds like Sir Gregory now.
What, coming in here? Oh, yeah, well, you give him this petition, Mr. Lamb.
Yes, me? I can't give Sir Gregory a petition. He might get cross.
Now then, you two. Well, Lamb, what's that document you're holding?
Oh, well, I cannot tell a lie, Sir Gregory.
Then don't even try.
It's a petition.
A petition? How interesting. Tell me more.
Mr. Lamb wants to talk about the pipes, sir.
Pipes? Is that so, Lamb? What sort of pipes? Gas? Tobacco? Drain? Or bag?
Well, we're all fed up with the washrooms, you see, because our pipes are clogged and our fixtures are loose, and the most we can get is a dribble or a trickle, and sometimes it's nothing at all, and our taps won't turn, and our basins are cracked, and it never gets hot, and what about the workers?
Be quiet, man. The authorities are well aware of plumbing faults in this building. A major overhaul has already been planned and will start forthwith.
Oh!
You in the General Assistance Department will be responsible.
Yes.
Oh. And I have a file here with detailed plans for improvements and alterations. Get a firm to estimate and carry out the work. And something else.
Oh, yes, Sir Gregory?
Have it done as cheaply as possible.
Yes.
I said we just had to stand up to him.
You can come out from under the desk now.
If it has to be done cheaply, we'd better get Mr. Wrench.
Mr. Wrench, who's he?
My landlady's plumber. Whenever Mrs. Bratby has a stoppage, he comes round and unblocks her S-bend. He's got one of those long things with a brush at the end. Oh, he'll make a marvellous job at the ministry.
Excuse me, Mr. Lennox-Brown. Mr. Wrench wants a word with you.
I just come to say goodbye, gents. I've finished all the new plumbing, and I've made quite a good job of it, although I say so who shouldn't say so.
A good job. A good job. There are drips coming from that crack in the ceiling.
It's chaos, sir. I switched on the light in the outer office and the light bulb filled up with water.
And I picked up the phone to call Mr. Flood and a cold jet splashed in my ear.
Oh, I meant to warn you, sir. To make a phone call, you have to go to the washroom and shout at the taps.
Now, you hear that, Mr. Wrench? You've wrecked the whole system.
It's just teething troubles.
Then we might be better off with a dentist.
Well, I did say I done quite a good job. I didn't say a very good job.
Oh. Lennox-Brown! Lamb!
Oh, Sir Gregory, what's happened? You look soaking wet.
I am soaking wet. My new suit is ruined. And why?
Why, Secretary?
Because water came pouring through my ceiling. There's water everywhere. It's cascading down the stairs. The typing pools overflowed.
Oh. Dear me, perhaps my joints are coming apart. They don't make chewing gum like they used to.
Chewing gum? Is that what you've been using?
Well, it was all I had. I was told to do it cheaply.
Oh, get out, you doddering old fool.
I take it you're not pleased, then.
If ever I see you in this building again, I'll do you a mischief with your own plunger. Now go!
Well, I'm not staying here. I know when I'm not wanted. Some people are never satisfied. No respect, these youngsters.
Now then, you two.
It wasn't our fault, sir. No. You told us to do it cheaply.
Cheaply? Have you thought of the damage that lunatics caused? The cost of new carpets for my office and new coconut matting for yours?
Well, we're truly sorry, Secretary.
No, it never pays to penny pinch. Get a proper firm to sort out the mess. Now, there's a first-class one in Park Lane. Smoothie and Smart.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, I've heard of them.
Won't Smoothie and Smart be rather expensive?
Well, they won't be cheap, of course, but they'll only install the stuff. You'll buy the material at reduced rates from the Ministry of Works. Oh, and something else, Lennox-Brown.
Yes, sir?
While they're doing this overhaul, have them re-site the third-floor washroom. Yes, it's too far from my office at the moment. I have to go right down the corridor.
Very good, sir.
There's an empty storeroom opposite my office. Have the fixtures and fittings installed in there.
We'll go to Smoothie and Smart this very day, sir, and get the whole thing moving.
What marvellous offices these private firms have. White leather armchairs, tropical fish tanks, a fountain.
And that was only the lift. What about the entrance hall?
Most impressive. That magnificent desk with the blonde receptionist.
And did you see that splendid Picasso?
No, she was sitting down at the time. Here we are. Smoothie and Smart. Sanitary engineers and commissioners for baths.
Oh, hello. You're the man from the ministry.
Yes, that's right, yes. I'm Lennox-Brown. This is my junior colleague here, Mr. Bland.
I'm Smart, by name and by nature. Please walk this way.
If I could walk that way, I'd have got that job in the Foreign Office.
Two. Mr. Smart, I brought a plan of the ministry and a list of the jobs we want done. As well as a general overhaul, we want the third-floor washroom moved.
Oh, we'll take care of it, never you fear. Now, let me show you our fitments. This is the latest in basins. Finest marble with mink-covered taps.
I say.
Well, this is all very interesting, Mr. Smart, but you do realize, don't you, that your firm will only install the equipment.
What?
We'll be getting the stuff from the Ministry of Works. They have lots of ex-army basins and pipes.
Oh, well then, there's no point in showing you my articles.
Right. In fact, I'd rather you didn't. Now, just say what items you need, and my colleague here will place the order.
Got your pencil?
Yes.
Right. 200 yards of piping, 60 basins wash hand, 30 systems metal, 30 ball cocks plastic.
There's a note here about cleaning a flag, sir.
Yes, it's for trooping the colour, you know.
What a good idea. That flag they paraded last year looked awfully tatty.
Well, this year's was so grubby you could scarcely read the regimental motto, ready for anything. It looked like seedy and thin. Oh, it's tragic, you know, to see a historic flag in that condition.
I could take it to the laundrette tomorrow, pop it in with my smalls.
Thank you, Sue. That will not be necessary. The flag is already being cleaned by experts. They'll return it here on Friday in time for the ceremony.
Well, it looks like it's all in hand, sir. Smoothie and Smart have nearly finished the plumbing.
Won't Sir Gregory be pleased when he gets back from Paris today?
Indeed he will. They'll have moved the washroom down his end of the corridor, and he's had his office repainted.
How did that happen?
Oh, some private fiddle, I gather. The maintenance people were replacing his carpets because of that water damage. He bribed them to redecorate as well.
They do say money talks.
Never said much to me.
I say, something terrible's happened.
Crawley, whatever's the matter?
Well, I just passed the Gregory's office here. Oh, it was awful.
Poor Mr. Crawley, you're shaking like Mr. Lennox-Brown. down when he reads the racing results.
I thought you told your people to set up a men's room opposite Sir Gregory's office.
Well, that's right. We said to convert that old storeroom.
Well, they must have misunderstood you. They've installed all the fixtures and fittings in Sir Gregory's office itself. Oh, it's true. There are cubicles next to his drinks cabinet, 6 wash-hand basins by his window, and behind his desk, a row of what's-his-names that go every 2 or 3 minutes.
Good grief. This is your fault, too. This is your fault, you know. You marked the plan of the building. You must have picked the wrong side of the corridor.
Oh. Blimey, Sir Gregory will be here any minute.
To find his office is also a washroom. He'll kill us.
Well, I'm off. I can't face it. I really can't. I've stood enough over the years. My magazine says tension's bad for a girl. I'm going home.
And you'll have to excuse me, too, if Sir Gregory's coming. I can't stand the sight of blood.
Oh, it's no use trying to hide under the carpet, too. Come here. Pull yourself together, man. Now, we've got to keep going and think.
Couldn't we go first and then think?
Look, as I see it, we could apply for a foreign posting and stay at home till we get it.
Yes.
Or perhaps we could bribe old Matthews to trap Sir Gregory in the lift.
Lennox-Brown, Lamb, good morning.
Oh, glory.
Lamb, why are you trying to climb up the hat stand?
Because it's there.
Well, I've had such a pleasant stay in Paris, I think I can even tolerate you two and your weird eccentricities.
My word, sir, what a generous spirit.
Besides, I'm looking forward to seeing my office. I've had it redecorated, you know.
I always said, sir. Oh, you haven't actually been to your office yet, sir?
No, I'm on my way there now. I dare say I'll see a few changes, right?
Yes, you will, sir, you will.
Henceforth, the room will reflect my status.
Yes.
They should have put more seats in, have they?
Oh, indeed.
Well, I promised the lads a few bob, but I think I'll have them in there for drinks in lieu. Well, it should be one of the most striking offices in the building, you know. All my traditional comforts plus 1 or 2 gadgets I've had installed. I expect to find it a great convenience.
Mr. Gregory, don't go into your office, please.
No, stop pulling my jacket, Lamb. I'll be back to talk to you later.
I'm sure he will. How long does it take to get to his office?
About 10 seconds.
And he's had 5 already. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, and Mr. Lamb. I've seen black eyes before, but never with yellow streaks.
Well, what about me, Mildred? What about me? Sir Gregory hurled my new swivel chair at the wall.
But that didn't hurt you physically.
It did. I was still sitting in it.
Oh, he was cross. Some of the words he used I'd never even heard.
Well, Sir Gregory's no gentleman, even though that notice on his door says he is.
What's that you're dabbing on your eye to?
Well, it should be a raw steak, but I couldn't afford it, so I bought a frozen risole.
Why didn't Sir Gregory just leave his office and go and work somewhere else?
Ah, well, he couldn't, you see. He was expecting some vital phone calls on that line. So he had to sit at his desk all day while men kept coming in and washing their hands.
Yes, and then they dried them on his new overcoat.
Apparently he had a white ashtray in front of him and people were dropping coins in it.
Raj gave him 2p, I hear.
2p?
It was the second time he'd been in.
Well, I suppose all the gear will be taken out now and put in the proper room.
Yes, that's right. Should be done by Monday. Provided, of course, we can get another ball cock.
I phoned the Misery of Worksman. They'll send one along in the morning.
Good.
Oh, come in, Sir Gregory. How are you this morning, sir?
I'm slowly regaining my peace of mind after one of the worst weeks of my life.
Mr. Lamb and Mr. Lennox-Brown were ever so sorry about that little mishap.
How you stuck them all these years is beyond me. I must say, I admire you, Miss Murfin.
Oh, Thank you, sir.
And I'm here to ask if you'd do me a favour. Just a little favour, but something that means a lot to me.
Oh, well, I don't know if I should. My boyfriend's awfully jealous.
I wondered if I might leave this parcel here.
Oh, a parcel! Oh, yes, of course, sir.
Yes, it's Miss Bentwater's birthday today. She's 22.
What, again? I mean, is she?
Well, I wanted to give her this rather special gift, a surprise, you know, but she's not in yet.
Oh, no, she won't be until this afternoon, sir. She's having her hair done. She's going to a hunt ball tomorrow.
Yes, I'm taking her, as a matter of fact, launching her into society.
Oh, that would be nice.
Well, now, I have to be out for the rest of the day. I'm attending the trooping of the colour. The PM's asked me to join him in the VIP box, actually.
Oh.
And then we may have a spot of lunch and go for a sail on the Serpentine.
So you'd like me to give Daphne Bentwater a present?
Yeah, that's right. I know it'll be safe in your hands, but don't let Mr. Lamb or Mr. Lennox-Brown get near it, will you?
No, sir. I'll put it up here on the shelf till Daphne gets in.
It's a violin, and a very valuable one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why it's packed in this long cardboard box. Thank you, Miss Murfin, and now I must go. I mustn't be late for the ceremony.
Righty-ho, sir. Cheery bye.
Cheery, goodbye, Miss Murfin.
Poor old devil. I suppose he's not so bad, really. He's just at an awkward age.
Morning, Mildred. Everything under control?
Oh, yes, sir.
Good.
Except that flag's arrived and they need it for trooping the colour.
I'm sorry we're late. Mr. Smart's men had trouble with one of the systems, so we had to rush round and look into it.
No wonder you both look flushed.
Now, I'll take the flag to Horse Guards Parade. By Jove, we're tight for time, aren't we? Look, you better phone the Colonel, Mildred. Tell him it's on its way.
Righty-ho, sir.
Say they may not get it till the last minute, but to start the ceremony anyway. Where is the flag?
It's on the shelf, sir, in a long cardboard box.
Shall I come with you, one? I've never seen them trooping the colour.
No, two. I'm sorry. No, you must get that ball cock to the plumbers.
No.
Did it arrive, Mildred?
Yes, sir. All neatly packed in a long cardboard box. Special delivery from the Ministry of Works. I'll put it up there on the shelf.
Right, well, I must get moving at once. They start the trooping in 15 minutes. We can't have anything go wrong.
No, indeed. I hear the whole thing's on TV. Hello, viewers. Well, as you've probably gathered, this is Fort Robinson here on Horse Guards Parade for the Trooping the Colour ceremony. As always, a large crowd has gathered to see this unique British spectacle. And they watch in awe now as Her Majesty the Queen, immaculate as ever on horseback, waits to receive the regimental colours. And now the adjutant rides forward on a big black horse, a truly magnificent animal. But he seems a little nervous, nostrils flaring, eyes rolling, one ear up and the other down. Luckily, his horse seems perfectly calm. What may be upsetting the adjutant is that as yet he doesn't seem to have a colour to troop. But what's this? Here's a new twist to this ancient ceremony. A bowler-hatted figure is cycling across the parade ground, carrying a long cardboard box. He's obviously expected, for the adjutant rides over and takes the box from him. And the cyclist doffs his bowler hat to Her Majesty and respectfully falls off his bicycle. Aha! And now a great hush descends on the crowd as the adjutant, opening the box as he goes, rides slowly forward and holds this historic standard aloft to the troops. But my word, it's not a regimental flag. It looks like... Surely not. My word, it is a ball cock.
Honestly, sir, how could you? My dad laughed so much when he saw it on TV, he fell off his puff and did himself a mischief.
Well, it was because of that last-minute rush, you see.
But it really was very careless of you, Ronald.
Oh.
It's the sort of daft thing I used to do.
Well, you've no cause to be uppity, Mr. Lamb, considering what you did.
Me?
You were supposed to give the ball cock to the plumbers, weren't you?
Well, I did.
You couldn't have, could you? Mr. Lennox-Brown gave it to the army.
Oh, dear. Don't say I gave the plumbers the regimental flag.
No, you didn't do that.
Oh, what a relief.
You gave them Miss Brinkwater's present.
Oh?
Sir Gregory's expensive violin got put in the washroom cistern.
Are you sure?
Yeah. When you pull the chain, it does a quick pizzicato.
Oh, glory, Sir Gregory will go mad. Quick, go to the supermarket, Mildred, and buy 2 frozen rissoles.
Where are they? Let me get my hands on them.
Sir Gregory, we can explain.
Save your breath, Lennox-Brown. It may be the last you draw. Nothing you can say will alter the fact that, thanks to you, thousands of tourists, millions of TV viewers have seen, for the first time in recorded history, the ceremony of trooping the ball-cock.
The regimental colour's all right, sir. It didn't come to any harm.
Didn't it, Lamb? You, Miss Murfin, what did you give Miss Bentwater?
The long cardboard box on the shelf, sir.
Exactly, the long cardboard box containing the priceless regimental flag. She thought I'd given her more dress material.
Dress material, sir?
Yes, she made up the flag into an evening gown for her debut at the Hunt Ball.
She made the flag into an evening gown?
She did, with the regimental motto prominently placed. Imagine meeting my upper crust friends with "Ready for anything" written across a butt. All 3 of you! I'll murder you! It's the last thing I will do!
Flushed with success as the men from the Ministry were Richard Murdoch and Deryck Guyler. Also featured were Norma Ronald, Ronald Baddiley and John Graham. The programme was written by Edward Taylor and John Graham and produced by Edward Taylor.